Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by anger? That sudden rush of emotion that seems to take over your entire being? It's like a fire that burns within you, convincing you that you're right to feel this way, that you deserve to be angry. But let me ask you this: what has anger truly given you? Has it ever really solved the problem at hand, or has it only made things worse, leaving you with a lingering sense of regret or even isolation? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive deep into a topic that impacts us all: anger. We've all experienced it, we've all been consumed by it. But what if I told you that you could live your life without letting anger control you? What if I said that after watching this video, you'd have the tools to never let anger get the best of you again? Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. In this video, we're going to uncover the secrets to conquering anger and replacing it with inner peace, emotional strength, and clarity. Together, we'll explore real-life techniques that not only help you manage anger, but rise above it completely. This isn't about ignoring or suppressing your feelings, but about transforming them in a way that empowers you. And if you're ready to take that journey with me, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Together, we'll work through the lessons that will not only help you manage anger, but also transform the way you respond to life. So, let's get started. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to approach life with calm, clarity, and confidence. Let's dive in. Let's dive. 1. The real nature of anger. Let's take a moment to truly delve into the nature of anger. Let's really take a deep breath and step into the truth of what anger is, and more importantly, what it's not. You see, anger has this way of tricking us into believing that it's justified, that it's the right and powerful response to life's challenges. Someone disrespects us? We react. Life doesn't go our way. We explode. It feels like we're standing up for ourselves, like we're protecting our dignity. But let me ask you, what does anger actually give you? Does it ever leave you feeling stronger, more at peace, more in control? No, and we both know that. What anger really does is cloud your mind, harden your heart, and steal your ability to see things clearly. If I could tell you one thing from my own journey, it's this: anger is an illusion of strength. It masquerades as power, but deep down it weakens us. It blinds us, throws our thoughts into chaos, and damages the very relationships and opportunities that we care about most. And the hardest part? It makes us lose sight of who we want to be. Think back to the last time you were really angry. What did it do to you? Did you say things you regret? Did you push someone away? Did you make decisions that, in hindsight, weren't the wisest? That's what anger does. It drives us to react in ways that we wouldn't if we had the clarity of peace. And the key here? Anger doesn't come from the things that happen to us. It's not about the traffic jam, the rude comment, or the missed opportunity. Anger is born from the expectations we hold about how things should be. We expect life to go a certain way. We expect people to treat us in a particular manner. And when those expectations aren't met, that's when frustration builds. That's when anger takes root. But here's the shift. When we understand that life is going to move at its own rhythm no matter what we expect, we start to let go of the need to control everything. We start to accept what we cannot change. I want you to imagine a different way of living, one where anger doesn't control you, where you have the power to pause, breathe, and respond instead of react. You see, real strength, the kind that brings peace and lasting change, doesn't come from lashing out. It comes from recognizing your emotions and choosing not to be ruled by them. This is what the Stoics meant by the dichotomy of control. The only things we can truly control are our actions and reactions. Everything else is beyond our reach. And when you accept that, the anger begins to dissolve. Peace begins to take its place. Now, why does anger cloud our judgment so powerfully? It's because our brains are hardwired for survival. When we feel threatened, whether by a person or a situation, our fight or flight response kicks in. Stress hormones like adrenaline flood our system, preparing us to act. But here's the catch. Those hormones don't help us think clearly. In fact, they make it harder. They push us to react impulsively, and we lose our ability to see the bigger picture. That's why, in moments of anger, we often say and do things we wish we could take back. This is where emotional intelligence becomes so important. Emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize what you're feeling in the moment and manage those emotions in a way that serves you, not controls you. Picture it. The next time anger starts to rise, instead of letting it take over, you pause. You breathe. You ask yourself, what am I feeling? What's really going on here? And by simply naming that emotion, you create space. Space to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. And what does that shift give you? It gives you power. Power over your actions, your relationships, your peace of mind. When you respond with clarity instead of reacting with anger, you become a force of calm in a world full of chaos. You become the person who stays grounded, who others look to for guidance, who can handle whatever life throws their way with grace and wisdom. That's what I want for you. That's what you deserve. So here's my challenge to you. The next time anger rises, take that pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Most of the time, you'll find that it's not. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can either let the anger consume you, or you can choose peace. You can choose wisdom. You can choose to rise above. This journey isn't about never feeling anger, it's about not letting it dictate your life. It's about realizing that peace is a choice, and that choice is yours to make. So, I invite you to join me on this path. Let's rise above anger together, and let's find the strength that comes from within. The power of patience. Patience has a profound impact on how we manage our anger. Patience has a unique power, not in its ability to make us passive, but in how it helps us navigate tough moments with clarity and control. Let's be real. When life throws challenges our way, our first instinct often isn't to step back and wait. We want results, we want action, and we want things to go our way immediately. But the truth is, the best decisions often come from those moments when we allow ourselves to pause, reflect, and respond instead of react. Patience, in its essence, gives us space. It gives us room to breathe and consider our next move without the weight of frustration or anger clouding our judgment. It's not just about sitting still waiting for things to magically fix themselves. No, it's about maintaining control over how we feel and how we react, even when everything around us is urging us to lash out or rush through the situation. Take an argument, for example. How many times have we said something in the heat of the moment only to regret it minutes later? That's impatience talking. When we lose our cool, we lose our ability to see the bigger picture. But with patience, we give ourselves the chance to stay calm, listen, and respond thoughtfully. This doesn't mean that we ignore the issue. It means that we handle it with a level of control and wisdom that only patience can bring. And here's the thing. Patience isn't just some passive virtue for nice people. It's a real, practical tool that helps us make better decisions, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and maintain our peace of mind. It allows us to control what we can, our responses, and let go of what we can't, like the actions or attitudes of others. So next time you feel the rush of impatience, ask yourself, what's the outcome I really want here? You'll find that more often than not, giving yourself that moment to breathe will lead you to a better, clearer answer. This isn't about letting people walk over you. It's about standing strong in your ability to handle life on your terms without being ruled by anger or frustration. Patience, in short, is power. Real power. The kind that keeps you grounded when the world tries to pull you into chaos. 3. Letting go of control. Why we need to accept life as it is. Letting go of control is one of the hardest, yet most liberating things we can do in life. Deep down, we all crave a sense of certainty. We want to know what's coming, to plan for every outcome, and to mold the world around us to fit our expectations. But here's the truth. Life doesn't work like that. People don't always act the way we want them to. Circumstances rarely unfold according to our plans, and the more we cling to the need for control, the more we set ourselves up for frustration, disappointment, and, ultimately, anger. At its core, anger is often born from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. We get angry when things don't go our way, when people let us down, or when life throws us a curveball. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if, instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, we learned to embrace life as it is? This is the essence of Stoic philosophy and the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. It's about accepting everything that happens, good or bad, as necessary parts of our journey. Letting go of control is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it's a profound display of strength. It's saying, I trust myself enough to handle whatever comes my way. By releasing our need to control every outcome, we free ourselves from the constant mental burden of trying to bend life to our will. Instead, we can focus our energy on what we can control: our actions, our responses, and our mindset. Imagine the peace that would come with this shift. Instead of resisting life's challenges, we would meet them with resilience and adaptability. We wouldn't waste time agonizing over things beyond our control. Instead, we'd use that time and energy to grow, to improve ourselves, and to build the life we want within the boundaries that reality provides. When we accept that we can't control everything, we also open ourselves to the beauty of unpredictability. Life becomes less of a battle and more of a dance, a give and take where we learn, adapt, and grow from every twist and turn. This mindset not only helps us navigate adversity with grace, but also allows us to appreciate the unexpected gifts that life brings. So the next time you feel frustration rising, ask yourself, what am I trying to control? Is it something within my power, or am I resisting reality? Let go of the need to control what's beyond you and focus on mastering your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. By doing so, you'll discover a deep, lasting peace that no external circumstance can shake. Letting go isn't giving up. It's embracing what is and finding strength in your ability to adapt. This is how we cultivate true resilience. This is how we rise above frustration and anger, and this is how we create a life that flows in harmony with reality, rather than constantly fighting against it. 4. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence at its core is about more than just recognizing emotions. It's about mastering them in a way that empowers you to navigate life's challenges with wisdom, composure, and strength. Think about this. How many times have you let a moment of frustration or anger dictate your actions, only to regret it later? Emotional intelligence isn't just a soft skill, it's a form of personal power. And that power begins with self-awareness. To develop this power, you need to start by understanding the triggers that spark your anger. Self-awareness is the key that unlocks this. When you're aware of what pushes your buttons, you gain the ability to pause and reflect before reacting. Let's face it, we've all encountered that coworker or person who seems to irritate us at every turn. Maybe it's their dismissive attitude, or perhaps it's their habit of taking credit for your ideas. In moments like these, it's easy to let irritation simmer and grow into anger. But the emotionally intelligent person steps back and asks, why does this person affect me so much? Often, the answer isn't as simple as the person themselves. It could be touching on deeper insecurities or unmet expectations within yourself. This level of introspection doesn't just give you insight, it gives you control. When you can identify the why behind your emotions, you shift from a reactive state to a responsive one. You take back the power that anger might have stolen from you, and in doing so, you align your actions with your deeper values. The real strength comes from choosing how to respond, not from letting external events dictate your emotional state. Think about the ripple effects of this kind of mastery in your life. Imagine the peace that comes from knowing that no one else has control over your emotions but you. Picture the freedom of responding calmly to stressful situations at work, in relationships, or even within yourself. Emotional intelligence becomes the compass that guides you, allowing you to stay centered, no matter the storm. Next time you find yourself triggered, pause. Ask yourself, is this about them, or is this about me? When you choose to respond rather than react, you not only empower yourself, but you also create an environment where growth and understanding thrive. And here's where the magic happens. When you build this emotional awareness, you'll notice a shift in how others respond to you. You'll become a source of calm in a world often filled with chaos. Others will see your emotional resilience and it will inspire them. This is the strength that comes with emotional intelligence. It's subtle, it's powerful, and it's transformative. So the next time frustration creeps in, remember this. Your emotions are yours to control. Don't let anyone else have that power. Own it, and watch how your relationships, your work, and your inner peace transform. 5. Compassion and forgiveness. Forgiveness is not just a choice. It's a powerful act of reclaiming your inner peace. Often we hold on to anger and resentment, believing that it shields us or justifies our hurt. But the truth is, anger is a weight we carry, a burden that weighs down not only our mind but our body too. Think about the toll anger takes. It gnaws at our mental clarity, increases stress, and even manifests physically through tension or anxiety. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is liberating. It allows us to release that burden and, in doing so, reclaim the emotional space we need to heal and grow. Now let's address a common misconception. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you're excusing what happened. You're not condoning the actions that hurt you. Instead, you're choosing to free yourself from the emotional grip of anger, from allowing it to dictate your peace. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Ultimately, it's you who bears the cost. Consider how many times you've clung to anger. Did it bring resolution? Did it foster personal growth? Most likely, it kept you stuck, emotionally bound to an experience that has long since passed. Compassion and forgiveness, by contrast, allow us to step forward, unshackled from the past. These acts are rooted in strength, not weakness. It takes immense courage to forgive, to rise above and to say, "My peace is more valuable than my grudge." Minus. In our culture, where strength is often misunderstood as the ability to hold on to anger, true strength lies in the ability to let go. Forgiveness is not only empowering but transformative. By practicing it, you not only heal yourself, but also create a ripple effect, showing others that compassion is a far more potent force than resentment. The next time anger threatens to consume you, ask yourself, is holding on to this worth sacrificing my inner peace? When you frame it this way, the answer becomes clear. The cost of clinging to anger far outweighs the relief that comes with letting it go. When you choose forgiveness, you're not just granting it to others, you're granting it to yourself. And in that moment, you're choosing emotional freedom, a gift that continues to give long after the hurt has passed. So I challenge you, when anger arises, to pause and ask yourself, is this worth the cost? Most often, you'll find that the answer is no. By choosing compassion over anger, you're choosing to live free. 6. The role of gratitude in overcoming anger. Gratitude plays a pivotal role in our emotional well-being, especially when it comes to overcoming anger. When we're angry, it's like our vision narrows. We become fixated on what has wronged us, the injustice, the hurt. The problem is that this focus blinds us to everything that's still good in our lives. That's where gratitude comes in. It's not about ignoring the problem or pretending that the pain doesn't exist. It's about widening our perspective and remembering that even in difficult moments, there is still good around us. Let's think about this. How many times have you let something small, like an offhand comment or a minor inconvenience, turn your entire day upside down? Maybe you come home from a long, stressful day at work, and the smallest thing, like your partner's tone or your children's noise, sets you off. In that moment, anger seems justified. But what if you took a step back? paused for just a moment and reflected on the things you're grateful for in that very same situation. Suddenly, your anger starts to lose its grip. You might remember the warmth of your home, the love of your family, or even just the simple fact that you have the health and capacity to experience these challenges. This is the power of gratitude. It shifts our focus. Gratitude allows us to zoom out from the one issue that's bothering us and see the bigger picture. By intentionally choosing to focus on what's going well, we dilute the power of anger and begin to reclaim our emotional balance. I'm not suggesting that practicing gratitude means ignoring your problems. Far from it. Life is full of hardships, and pretending otherwise won't make them go away. However, practicing gratitude in the face of adversity builds resilience. It doesn't make the problems disappear, but it helps us approach them with a clearer, calmer mind. Gratitude helps us see that despite the challenges, there is still much to be thankful for, and that alone can bring us peace. One of the most effective ways to cultivate gratitude is through a daily gratitude practice. It's simple, but the results can be profound. Every evening, take a few moments to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Sometimes the smallest blessings, like a warm cup of coffee or a kind word from a stranger, can shift your entire perspective. Over time, this practice trains your brain to focus on the positive, making it easier to let go of anger and embrace peace. So the next time you feel anger bubbling up, challenge yourself to pause and shift your focus. What are you grateful for in that moment? You'll find that with practice, gratitude will become your default response, and anger will lose its hold over you. It's not about ignoring the struggles of life, it's about choosing to focus on what lifts you up, not what drags you down. 7. Strength through silence. Let me start by asking, what does silence mean to you? When you're angry, it's easy to believe that shouting or reacting is the only way to release that intense fire burning inside. We've all been there, wanting to lash out, to say something that cuts deep. But what if I told you that your greatest strength isn't in the words you say when you're angry? It's in the silence you choose instead. Silence isn't weakness, it's power. It's the space between stimulus and response, where clarity, wisdom, and perspective are born. In those moments when everything feels like it's about to boil over, silence allows you to hold on to your dignity, to think before you act, to protect your peace of mind. The Stoics understood this long ago, that sometimes the most courageous thing you can do when faced with anger is to not respond immediately. Take that breath. Take that pause. Let me be real with you. Holding back doesn't feel good at first. You want to fight back, prove a point, maybe even hurt the other person like you feel hurt. But reacting in anger has never fixed anything, has it? Instead, it leaves you with more regret, more pain, and often damaged relationships. Silence, on the other hand, gives you a chance to process, to cool down, and to choose your response wisely. It's about reclaiming control, not over the situation, but over yourself. If you've ever walked away from a fight or held your tongue when every part of you wanted to lash out, you already know the power of silence. It's an act of strength to stay calm when everything inside you is screaming for action. But here's the thing. Your response, the way you handle anger, defines who you are far more than the circumstances that sparked that anger in the first place. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you feel that surge of anger rising, I want you to practice silence. Not silence as a form of suppression, but silence as an act of courage. Take that minute, close your eyes if you need to, and breathe. Feel the power in holding back, not to avoid the conflict, but to approach it with clarity and purpose. What you'll find is that by the time you're ready to respond, you'll do so from a place of calm, not chaos. Imagine what that kind of strength could do for your relationships, your mental health, your entire life. It's time we redefine what it means to be strong. True strength is in mastering ourselves, not in dominating others. And it starts with mastering our reactions. You have that power within you. Let silence be your greatest weapon, and watch how it transforms not only your life, but the way people respect and respond to you. 8. Taking ownership of our emotions. Taking responsibility for our emotions is one of the most liberating and powerful decisions we can make in life. Imagine this. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, you're in control. Instead of letting someone else's actions dictate how you feel, you're the one who chooses how to react. That shift in mindset changes everything. It's a profound realization because it removes the power from external situations and places it right back where it belongs, within you. We've all been there. Someone says something that triggers us, something doesn't go the way we planned, and our first instinct is to blame. They made me angry, we say, as if the emotion was forced upon us. But here's the truth. No one can make us feel anything. The frustration, the anger, the hurt, they don't come from the outside. They come from the story we tell ourselves about what happened. When we take ownership of that story, we take ownership of the emotions that follow. Let's break this down. Suppose you're working hard on a project, and a coworker criticizes your effort or takes credit for your work. It's easy to react in anger, to point the finger and say, "They made me feel this way." But if you pause, take a step back, and examine the story you're telling yourself, you might find something deeper. Maybe you're telling yourself that they don't respect you or they're undermining you on purpose. But here's the thing. It's that story that's fueling your anger, not the action itself. And if you change the story, you can change how you feel. This is where real personal responsibility comes in. It's not about pretending things don't bother you or suppressing how you feel. It's about owning your reaction, understanding that while you can't control the actions of others, you can always control your response. You have the power to choose peace over frustration, clarity over chaos. The more we practice this mindset, the more we realize that anger and other negative emotions aren't something that happen to us. They're something we create within ourselves. And once we own that fact, we free ourselves from the emotional chains that keep us stuck. Instead of blaming others for how we feel, we become active participants in shaping our emotional reality. So, the next time you feel anger bubbling up, pause and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this situation? How can I reframe it in a way that serves me better? This is where your power lies, in choosing how to interpret the world around you, and in doing so, choosing how you want to feel. The choice is always yours. By embracing this responsibility, you're not just changing how you react in the moment, you're transforming your life. You're moving from a place of reactive emotion to one of intentional, empowered responses. It's a shift that brings more peace, more clarity, and ultimately, more control over the only thing you truly have power over, yourself. 9. The journey toward inner peace. Practical steps for everyday life. As you continue on this journey toward mastering your emotions and finding inner peace, it's important to remember that transformation is gradual. Each step you take brings you closer to living a life where anger no longer has control over you, and instead, you're in charge of your emotional landscape. Let's dive deeper into each of these practical steps and understand how they can be integrated into your daily routine, empowering you to cultivate lasting peace and resilience. Mindfulness is the foundation for emotional awareness. It's not just a practice, but a way of living, one that allows you to stay anchored in the present moment. When you're mindful, you observe your emotions without being consumed by them. You develop a space between what happens and how you react. Try starting with just 5 minutes a day of mindfulness meditation. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and notice when your mind begins to wander. That simple act of bringing your focus back is what builds your emotional strength over time. It's in that space where you regain control, where you remind yourself that no external event can dictate how you feel unless you allow it to. Emotional intelligence is your ability to understand and manage your emotions, but it's also about recognizing the emotions of others. The more you reflect on your emotional triggers and responses, the more aware you become of patterns in your behavior. For example, If you know that a certain situation or person always frustrates you, prepare yourself beforehand. Ask, why does this upset me? What belief or expectation is being challenged? When you know your triggers, you can meet them with curiosity rather than defensiveness. That's the essence of emotional intelligence, understanding that every emotional response is a choice, not an inevitability. Forgiveness might seem like a distant goal when anger feels justified, but holding on to anger only ties you to the very thing you wish to let go of. Forgiveness isn't about saying that what happened was okay. It's about releasing the burden from your own heart. When you forgive, you're no longer allowing the past to dictate your present emotional state. It's an act of liberation, and it starts with compassion for yourself. You deserve peace, and forgiveness is the bridge to that peace. Gratitude transforms your mindset from lack to abundance. It refocuses your attention from what's wrong to what's right. Think of it as an emotional reset button. On days when frustration takes over, intentionally pause and ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? Whether it's the comfort of your home, the love of family, or even small victories at work, gratitude shifts your energy. It reminds you that no matter the struggle, there is always good to be found, and that recognition weakens the grip of anger. Silence is a powerful tool in emotional mastery. In our fast-paced world, we're conditioned to respond instantly, especially when emotions are high. But silence gives you the opportunity to choose your response, rather than react impulsively. When anger arises, instead of immediately responding, take a moment of silence. This small pause allows you to gather your thoughts, calm your emotions, and respond from a place of clarity. It's not avoidance, it's wisdom in action. Silence doesn't just prevent conflicts, it gives you the space to respond in a way that aligns with your values. Taking responsibility for your emotions is the ultimate form of empowerment. It's recognizing that no one can make you feel a certain way. Yes, life can throw unexpected challenges your way, but how you respond is entirely within your control. When you own your emotional state, you reclaim your power. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you become the author of your emotional experience. The next time frustration or anger bubbles up, remind yourself, this is my choice. And in that choice, you find freedom. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you're not just learning to manage anger, you're cultivating a deeper sense of inner peace. You're transforming the way you relate to the world and yourself. This journey requires patience, yes, but every step you take moves you closer to a life where peace, resilience, and emotional freedom are not just ideals, but your everyday reality. Let this be your call to action. Start today. Practice mindfulness, reflect on your emotions, embrace forgiveness, and find gratitude in the small things. Use silence as a tool, and always remember that you are responsible for how you feel. The power to change your emotional experience is, and always will be, in your hands. Embrace the strength within you. So where do we go from here? We've covered a lot of ground, from understanding the root causes of anger, to cultivating emotional intelligence, practicing forgiveness, and embracing gratitude. The journey to overcoming anger and finding inner peace isn't an easy one, but it's one that will transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. As you move forward, I challenge you to commit to this journey. Start small. Maybe it's practicing mindfulness for just 5 minutes a day, or choosing silence the next time you feel anger rising. With each small step, you'll get closer to the peace and clarity you deserve. Remember, anger doesn't define you. It's just an emotion, a fleeting state that you have the power to control. By choosing peace over rage, compassion over resentment, and gratitude over frustration, you'll discover a strength within you that's far more powerful than anger could ever be. You are in control. You have the power to change. And I believe that you're capable of great things. Thank you for being here with me today on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with others. Let's spread the message of peace, compassion, and inner strength. Together, we can make the world a better place, one calm, thoughtful decision at a time.